Alright, welcome to the part 5, Twilight, for the Nioh 2 Featherless speedrun tutorial. And let's get on with it. Ruin draws near. Let's go. Okay, so overall, I don't think this this mission is particularly hard. The first boss is fairly simple. Once you know what to do with it, it should not be a big issue. But you know, this shrine right here, you can take it if you want. In fact, I will actually take it, I guess. Yes. But you know, normally I wouldn't take it. Okay, this is just a safety shrine that you, if you want to take it, go ahead. I'll say this though, you would spawn like on the other side of the bridge, if I recall correctly, if you do die to Maeda Toshiie. So it's not a super big deal. Anyways, climb this. Yeah, make sure to, while you get to the boss, at some point where you're low on ki, you switch to the Sukuna axe if you haven't done it before. And yeah, it's not a whole lot to say here. Just you can go through the fire if you feel like it. I just don't really feel like it's necessary for a minor time loss. I mean, time save. This is a very short shortcut that you can take. If you don't want to, then you don't need to take it, but you know, I would recommend taking it if you have any kind of doubts about this fight. So, we're back with water, and this fight is basically gonna be 3 things, okay? One is Titanic Strength, okay, from high to low and all that stuff. Brute Counter, and what is it called? Heaven on Earth, okay? So, Titanic Strength is gonna be the main attack during the whole fight. But whenever you have, whenever you either grapple him or final blow him, basically the difference is out of breath or on the floor. You would want to continue with a Heaven on Earth, and then follow it up with another Titanic Strength. Okay. If he gets away or something like that, you can use Brute Counter. You can also use it to do the final hit before breaking his ki. And another thing to take into account is that remember the strat that I talked about with Imagawa, with the Demon Axe? Now we have a guaranteed corruption weapon, which is the Interim Sukuna axe. Okay, so what happens is that for any time you have Maeda Toshiie or Matasa with water debuff and you get him out of breath, you can just do the switch to sword and then axe real quickly, so you get rid of the water buff and you start applying corruption. And then you can either do 2 quick attacks into final blow, and then, like, you know, Heaven on Earth after he wakes up. You know, also don't forget about fluxing. Or you can just grapple. I would recommend, in the case of Matasa, I would actually recommend grappling. For whatever reason, it feels like with Maeda Toshiie, compared to Imagawa, it is more convenient to grapple him, especially with the clan that we have. But with Imagawa, I feel like it's better the other way around, unless it's like at the end. Anyways, let's get on with it. I'll probably just do this fight once more, because there's not a whole lot to explain. So yeah, Titanic Strength from high to low, fluxing. Titanic Strength is unparryable So that's why you want to spam it, and then switch to Corruption, Heaven and Earth. Okay, he's being a bit annoying. Don't worry about it if you cannot grapple, just go with it. Okay, if you see that, dash forward. That's gonna be the easiest way to avoid dying. Alright? You can finish when he's really low, you can finish with this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's an example of a really, really bad fight because I got really unlucky. So I'll do it again, okay? Alright. Dodge. Any strength. Make sure to get on his face. You know, really, really close to him. So he doesn't get away as easily. Yeah, now he was really low, so I could do that. Grapple. Oh, okay, I wasn't able to do the thing that I wanted really early. It's okay. So yeah, this is fine. As you can see, we're Gucci. That's another example of a fight. Okay. You don't need to speak to him actually. You just need the key. Anyways. Open this, and you can menu here, but I'll do the menu after this. And now you want to level up everything on stamina, as you know. Should have 30 or 31. And now let's change Soul Core, change it to Ryumin Sukuna, and now secondary Guardian Spirit. Let's go to Nekomata, Yatsu no Kami, and Kasha. Okay. Okay. So now, with this next fight, there are several things that you need to take into account. Before I get into the menuing, I have to take into account that I have a Ryumin Sukuna axe that I'm always gonna have, a brute axe that I'm not always gonna have, goes to Tenno axe that I'm not always gonna have, Warrior's Monk Hammer that I'm always gonna have, and you know, sometimes you will get another better axe, or you know, a better hammer. Especially if you have a strong hammer like Demon Crusher, I think it was called, I would recommend that one. The main reason is because Shibata Katsuie has a loop of which he's very weak to getting a lot of key damage when you're trying to loop him. So that's why it's more convenient to have like a strong hammer. But I'll show the different outcomes that you can get with the different things, okay? So let's go. Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna show one thing real quick. BRB. Alright, so there's a small skip that you can do here. Okay, as you can see right there, I was able to just clip through this place. It doesn't work the other way around, I don't think. And you know, I can open it the other way somehow. But yeah, I would recommend either menuing there, you know, exiting the fight with Matasa, and equip the whatever axe or hammer you want, or just menuing while you're doing the while you're opening the door. Okay, if you manage to do the menu there, then you can decide whether you want to try the skip, you know, clipping through, or you want to just open this. Okay. Okay. Okay, that was a bit messy. Okay, I recommend full HP for this. Just do the hammer and buff with purity. Now, I'll explain this. Overall, at the start of the fight, unless you get a really good attack to punish with a Heaven and Earth, for the most part, you're just gonna do either Titan Strength or High Stance Strong Attack. Remember that you have Brute, Okay, Brute is gonna be what you want to have here, because it has Shirohami and also like the Brute counter. So you're not gonna be able to get away from things if you are in danger, like you could with a feral. Okay. So basically, Shirohami has the properties to poison, and we want to poison this guy, so that's pretty beneficial. That's why we want to use Shirohami. Now, I'm gonna explain first the strat with the hammer. We're gonna deal the least amount of damage from all the possible different weapons. You know, we're basically with the weapon that we're gonna have in at the end of the not the previous region but the one before it. So we are a bit under equipped right now, but it's gonna be more consistent than an axe like the Ryumen Sukuna axe. I'll explain that later. So once you get him to red key, I want you to consider two options. One, going ham with a Yatsu no Kami. If you, I would say, if you're in the middle of the arena or you don't have a clear bounce, a clear corner or a wall to bounce in, I would recommend not doing that. But if you are in that situation, then you could actually do it. Just remember that if you do not get the grapple, or if you get it, Shibata Katsuie will have more ki later, okay, on the transition to that realm. If you do not do that, you will have less ki. So basically, you do that, you grapple, and then you prepare for the next part. You will also have to take into account your purity buff meter. If it's about to run out, I would not recommend doing the Yatsu no Kami strat at the start, because then the rest is going to be a bit more sketchy. That's mainly on axes. On hammer you can get away with just buffing after the first grapple. But yeah, after he recovers, you just get in and do Heaven and Earth, a quick one, followed by a Titanic Strength. Okay, if necessary, do a Brute counter. Okay, if necessary, if you feel like you're just not gonna stagger him, but that should be enough to actually get rid of all his ki. And then do Yatsu no Kami, Heaven and Earth, and then grapple him, and then change to water and do the same thing. But this time he's gonna be confused and all that stuff. Vale? So after the water, you don't need to change if you have a hammer. If you have an axe, remember that you're gonna deal less ki damage. So everything that I said until now is gonna be harder, but you're gonna deal more damage. I'll explain a possible strat for the axe. Okay. And yeah, after that, it's just a matter of just keeping the loop. Okay, with the hammer is easier, but I'm gonna deal less damage. Let's go. As I said before, the biggest recommendation is okay, I'm gonna do this. The biggest recommendation that I have is to use Evil Crusher Hammer if you have it. It's not always gonna be an option. In fact, right now it's not an option. So keep that in mind. Alright. So we work with water. Now we proc confusion. Whenever you don't have enough, remember to do that as well. There we go. We can heal here, just because we don't have anything else to do. And this should be good enough. Okay, so as an example, okay? That's with the bare minimum, which is the Warrior Monk's Hammer, okay? I'll come back now and show you with a strong axe, okay? Alright, so now with the brute axe, which is pretty strong, I'm gonna show you one of the possible things that you can do. Okay, be on the safe side here. Now over here I would recommend just doing this, not using the Yatsunokami, and then now over on Earth, and there we go. Just because you have an axe instead of a hammer, okay? Now this is the hard part. Okay, good. Sometimes that will not happen, okay? And now I would recommend going with the Purity, just because you're gonna deal more damage, more key damage. Okay, and that's with a strong axe. As you can see, it was slightly sketchier. I actually got a bit lucky with the RNG, but yeah. Now all that's left is to show you what happens if you want to do this fight with the Ryumen Sukuna axe, okay? Alright, so as you can see right there, my sentience bar is pretty high. It's like about 90% or 80 something. So I want to get rid of it. As you remember from part 2, I explained this. You can just switch to another weapon and then come back and magically it's back to 50, okay? It will not work from less than 50 to 50, it will just work from more than 50 to 50, okay? Talking in percentages. Now, with the Ryumen Sukuna axe, sentience weapons or, corruption weapons work in a particular way, so depending on your attacks and the attacks of the boss that make you do those attacks, you're gonna have different experience, okay? But that'll give you an example of what can happen. Okay, let's go. Alright, that's good enough for punish. That's the worst attack that you are gonna see, pretty much. You really don't want to see that attack. Okay, can do this, have an nerf, heal a little bit if you want. You have time. There we go. And now we want to full... Yeah, there we go, that's perfect. Water. There we go. No, that's a perfect fight actually. That's really good. Okay. So what did I do? You might have noticed this, but what I did was I made sure, or if within my possibilities, I made sure that the sentience bar triggered after I grappled him, or while grappling him, it doesn't matter. After I grappled him on the dark, when exiting the dark realm phase, the first one, because that means that I have enough time to just buff with water and debuffing with water completely right after, okay? Obviously, then afterwards the sentence bar will be still pretty large, but that's actually working on your favor, because when the sentence bar is full, you do more damage. So at the end, I was able to just finish him like that. All right. Now I'm gonna do this. As you can see, I don't have any sentience bar. Okay, it doesn't work. It's okay, we do not care about the sentience bar at this point, so I'm just gonna continue. Alright, so let's do the sword, pick up things. You don't really care about this stuff, actually. You could just ignore the loot of Rimen Sukuna. Actually, no. Why do I say Rimen Sukuna? Of Shibata Katsuie. It's not gonna give you anything that you want. So yeah, change to Nekomata and go forward. And yeah, make sure that you're on the Rimen Sukuna axe, because we're gonna use that next. Now, in this next fight, I'm gonna show you what I think is the most ideal strat. Okay, like right now we have 3 large Spirit Stones, 1 Spirit Stone. It's good enough, you know. And we also have Spirited Gem. Okay, that's gonna be relevant later. So we're not super good on, like, we don't have a lot, but we have enough to do some stuff. So we're gonna use some of them right now. You should always have enough, like, unless you have used more than you needed to, or you just didn't get all the ones that I've been getting. You should have enough for this, okay? But you can always just do another strat, okay? If you remember, well, both Mataza and Imagawa, but especially Mataza, you know, Maeda Toshiie, you can do the same kind of a strat, or a very similar strat, with Tokichiro, okay? But that's not the strat that I'm gonna do, okay? If you feel like you want to save the Amrita items, do that strat. Okay, do the same kind of strat that we use on Maeda Toshiie. You can use it on Tokichiro. Okay, just I just want you to take that into account, because it is a possibility. It's not a bad strat. You know, it can even be faster. It depends on RNG, but you know, overall, I'm gonna go with this strat. I'm explaining it right now because it depends on what I do at the start. Like, what I'm gonna do at the start is it just takes into account what I'm gonna do later. Okay, on the boss fight. All right. Okay, ready on items. Read what you get, so you can prepare ahead. You know, ideally you would have at least 2 large Spirit Stones, and now you want to use them. You want to be full on Amrita. And now just be careful here, okay? This guy can be very annoying, but if you're smooth with your movement, you should be fine. Now, okay, so right here, I want you to be very careful in this part. You want... Okay, you can do several things, okay? One thing is like dash until you get to the axe guy, more or less, get past him a little bit, dodge the, what is it called? The cannon shot, and then get in to the next area. But I'm gonna show you is the more optimal way of doing this, which is getting right in front of the doorway here. Like, it's not a door; it's just an arc. You don't need to open anything. But there's a yokai spawning, and there's a cannon shooting you. So you need to be very fast, so you don't get staggered by the yokai and you don't die to the cannon. So what we just did with the Amrita actually helps a little bit, because it gives you a movement buff from Kasha. Kasha Soul Core has a movement buff when absorbing Amrita. And yeah, we're just gonna dash and just run for a little bit just to position ourselves, because that, position yourself positioning yourself while dashing properly is extremely hard, and I would say even inconsistent. So I would recommend just running for a little bit before heading to the through the door, and then you just want to rush past the spawn. Okay, so it's gonna look something like this, just like that. And now change to the Shirohame. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this as run just because I don't want to go through all of that again. But this run is not necessary if you feel like you're not gonna die or if you want to be fast. Just remember that if you take this and you want to level up or whatever, I would recommend keeping the level ups to a minimum, because if you spam level up a lot, it's just gonna be slower. And yeah, just level up stamina. Alright. So for this fight, I'm gonna do 2 different kinds of struts. Basically, it's gonna be, the first one is gonna be a mix between the Imagawa and Maeda Toshiie strats, and the second one is gonna be the actual strat that I would normally do in a run. So yeah, let's see. Aim, shoot, go forward, just like it with Imagawa. Now instead of, oh, okay, yeah, be careful with that. Normally I would have done a brute counter there, but I forgot. Now switch, just like with Mataza. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, this strat works and it doesn't need any kind of Amrita, okay? I didn't use yokai shift or anything like that, so this is the strat you would use if you don't want to use Amrita in this mission, okay? You need to adapt on some parts, but basically that's the idea of the fight, okay? It's nothing too complicated. Just remember that the Tokichiro can parry you, so whenever he's free to do things, do not use anything else apart from Titanic Strength, because then he can parry you. So like for example, in the middle of a combo, do not use high stance strong attack because he will parry you. You can avoid it, but like, why avoiding it when you can just negate the situation altogether. Anyways, now you might have noticed that I haven't really bothered explaining, stopping the game with a photo mode to explain anything. Is because there's no real need. Like, we are not gonna do anything new with this boss fight. I'm gonna do just things that we have already learned. Okay. As you can see, same as before. On Nerf, if he gets away, do a brute counter. Okay. Titanic Strength. Brute counter, and now you can do yokai shift, okay? The moment that he is debuffed with water and you get rid of all his ki, then you can do that. So yeah, pretty simple. That fight can have many outcomes, like it can go different ways. But overall, you get the idea. It's the same kind of fight as, something in between Imagawa, Saika, and Maeda Toshiie. It's just the same kind of idea, okay? Switch to Masaru, not Masaru, Nekomata, okay? Pick up the stuff, it has pretty good light armor and other stuff, so it can be useful. Proceed to the next region, yes. Next mission, yes. So yeah, not too hard, right? Pretty simple. Yeah, also notice that we have gotten a bit of armor and a gird. All of them are pretty useful. They're gonna be pretty much the standard of the next update on the armor that we're gonna do. And let's go, the Hide Spirited Demon. Preview of this mission. The first part sucks, the second part is not good, but at least is not very hard. Okay? Okay, skip the cutscene. Alright, so switch to the other item menu, or item shortcut. Use the red spot lily. Get this lantern plant fruit. It's also gonna give you the speed buff from Kasha absorbing Mandrita. Oh, come on. Do not get stuck like that, and do not suck at navigation through the level. That should be better. Now get close. There we go, use that. Use lantern plant fruit. And wait, because I didn't get the full damage. And let's go. Okay. So it was pretty bad. Now, over here we're gonna fight Hachisuka Koroku. We're gonna start with applying purity with, by dodging the first attack and then doing Titanic Strength. After that, you can either immediately go with Kasha, or you can just try to be a bit more aggressive and do another Titanic Strength or a high stance strong attack, or even like a high stance light attack. Depends on how you feel. All of them work, but all of them kinda also not work because this boss is not very consistent. But the idea is to bring him down to 0 key while also confusing him. And then after that, you kinda just want to like go with the fight, because this fight is just a mess. It's very messy, this fight. I would recommend just using Kasha whenever you can. Yeah, basically like if you're like attacking him or whatnot, you can use Kasha, then do it. So yeah, I'll give you an example, but it's a fucked up fight, honestly. Okay. As you can see right there, that's why I said it's not like consistent or anything like that. Okay, we got that. I'm gonna heal. Yeah, and now I got now he's gonna die. Omae wa mou shindeiru. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Try to be a bit, try to approach it slightly different. But you can see why this fight is so messy. It's like there's nothing like very clear about what's gonna happen, because some stuff that you're gonna do is they're gonna stagger him, or times they're not gonna stagger him. Sometimes you'll get punished by doing one thing, and other times you won't. Sometimes the Kasha will actually like fully stagger him, and other times he will just hyper armor through it enough to kill you. So it's a very messy fight. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, there's the first attack, Titanic Strength, if you can, Kasha. More Titanic Strength, keeps being a piece of shit. The usual things. Some strong attacks, some high stance. Some random burst attack. Alright. Just gonna use this. As you can see, very fucking random this fight. Now, make sure to know where you're going. Okay, so don't go this way because that's where you came from. So you need to go the other way. Okay. So, ideally, you would just run to the door as fast as possible, and then go straight to the next area. And if you do that fast enough, you will be able to just do the setup properly, no problem. But you know, there's several things that you need to take into account. First is that if you do that and you're fast enough, you will be able to just do get the first cycle on the for the Daidara Bocchi to break the barricade. Otherwise, you need to wait. And if you are not fast enough and you feel like you're just not gonna get, or you know, you're not gonna get enough of an oomph, or you don't want to risk it, you can just take one item in the way. But yeah, there's also a shrine in the way, so yeah. The armor from Hachisuka Koroku is also pretty good, so I recommend taking it, yes. And you know, this is a safety shrine, nothing new. And now, okay, so let's just say that you are not that fast, or you're just taking the shrine or whatnot. I would recommend searching this. Do not pick up anything that this gives you. I think it's like a camerate amulet or something like that. It doesn't matter. You just want to search it, and then start dashing towards the barricade. Okay, so search this and start dashing. It's like this, fast, 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 fast. You get to this point and get this and move back. So as you can see on the first shot, Daidara Bocchi, which is right there, just broke this. That's because I was fast enough to trigger his shot to be on this area instead of before that. Okay, and then I just picked that up. I didn't pick up anything. I actually just did the same thing as I did earlier, just to trigger another Amrita to pop up, so I can get another speed buff. Okay. Now, over here, I would recommend getting this Scampuss right here and doing this menu real quick. So learn Mat Spinner 2, Relentless 1, okay? Real quick. Now, over here, dash, 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 and right before it hits you, do a Feral Burst, okay? That's for all of them. And just go through it. You can directly go to the boss, by the way. You don't need to prep or anything. But I'm gonna take it just you know, showing the safety shrine and all that stuff. So straight away, let's go. Right at the start, I'm just gonna explain it as it goes, because it's not gonna go very fast or anything. So go to the right and just use that Yatsu no Kami straight away whenever you get enough anima, and the same thing for the Kasha afterwards. Okay. Now switch to the sword and dash around and go to this one. Switch to the axe again and start doing Mat Spinner. Yatsu no Kami, Mat Spinner, and Kasha. Okay, so I didn't get lucky, sadly. Don't worry, I'm used to not getting lucky, so It's like another day. Yeah. It's pretty much a standard for me to not ever get lucky when I want to. And this, I didn't do enough damage, so I'm gonna have to do this. But yeah, just Kasha right there, and it's good. Okay, I'll do it again. Do it one more time, just so you can see a little bit of a difference. Keep in mind that now I do not have the cat. So my animal region is gonna be severely hampered because of that. Alright, switch to the sword. Push around. Switch back to the axe. Mat spinner too. Yatsu no Kami. Okay, switch to the brute. And brute counter that. Okay, make sure to not be where I was when that happens. If you deal enough damage where like basically like the HP bar is on the C, you know, right now it's on the H, between the H and the I. If it's on the C, it will be enough for skipping this last cycle, okay? But yeah, it doesn't matter if you get it or not. Now switch to the brute, and now you can do some menuing. I would recommend doing this, for example, and then you can go to the sword and get Morning Moon, okay? Now there is another menu that you could do, which is, for example, this one. Learning this 3 and then this one, okay? I'll do it one more time and I'll do that instead, so you can show. So that would be like what you would do on an 8% with DLCs, okay? DRB. Right, so you can also just use Kasha instead of Yatsu no Kami and then Kasha, if you really want to. It deals more damage, but I feel like it's slightly less optimal. Depends on how you feel like it. Anyways, more Mud Spinner, more Kasha. Okay, as you can see, it didn't go super well, but now I'm gonna trigger the last phase skip. As you can see right there. And now I can do this as well. Once I know that it's gonna happen, I can just do that, you know, switch to brute. And just advance my menuing a bit more beforehand, okay? And of course now I don't get the what is it called? Forgot the name of Kintaro axe, okay? The Kintaro axe is basically the thing that if you see it, equip it. Okay? Go for it. It's gonna be the best. But yeah, I do not have the Kintaro axe right now. Which is fine, you know. It's gonna show you what you're always gonna have, at least at minimum. Just make sure to equip the Kintaro axe if you actually get it. So yeah, just run during the interim once again. Because in theory we're dead. I know we talked to the mom waifu. And yeah, as soon as you see, like, the Byodo in one of the texts. That means that there's only one more text to skip, and then you're gonna have this menu. So you head to Byodo in, and yes. And then just spam circle again. You'll just get used to it. And now there's a cutscene to skip, by the way. But yeah, that's the end of the Region 5 Twilight. Now we are onwards to the Region 6 Dream. Without really doing the go to next region, like this immediately goes to the 6th region. So that's pretty neat, honestly. We do not need the Soul Core. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye bye.